Let's take a look at number 10 from section 1.3. It says the figure below shows a graph of y equals 2.2x minus 3.4. We're going to use the graph to solve each of these equations or inequalities. So the first one is asking us when negative 1.2 is equal to 2.2x minus 3.4. And that is really just saying if the function is y equals 2.2x minus 3.4, we can just say that we're given a y value of negative 1.2. Okay, so in this first part, y is negative 1.2, and we want to find the corresponding x value. Okay, so I look at the y-axis and find where negative 1.2 would be located, which is right between negative 1.6 and negative 0.8. Okay, draw a horizontal line and find where that line intersects the graph. And so that would be an x value of 1. Okay, so we've solved the equation. We're just going to say y equals negative 1.2 when x is 1. Okay, we'll do a similar thing for part B. 2.2x minus 3.4, when is that equal to negative 5.6? That is saying that y, when is y equal to negative 5.6 if we're given the graph of this particular function. So I locate negative 5.6 on the y-axis and sketch a horizontal line. Where these two lines intersect is the point that I'm concerned about, and that happens when x is negative 1. So x is negative 1 is my answer for part B. Okay, part C, it says, when is 2.2x minus 3.4 greater than or equal to negative 1.2? Another way to write that is when is y greater than or equal to negative 1.2? So if you refer back to part A when we drew a line at y equals negative 1.2, what this line does, it splits the graph into two regions. One where y is greater than negative 1.2, and the other where y is less than negative 1.2. Since this part of the question asked when y is greater than or equal to negative 1.2, we're going to look on the line and above, so on and above this line. And so these are the values of y that we're looking for, but it happens when x is 1 or greater. So refer back to the x-axis to find this interval. And so you can say when x is greater than or equal to 1. And part D, it asks us when negative 5.6 is greater than or equal to 2.2x minus 3.4. And so that's also saying that negative 5.6 is greater than or equal to y. If I flip this around, just kind of think flipping the entire statement around, so y is on the left, y is less than or equal to negative 5.6 is another way of writing this. Okay, so we have a line at y equals negative 5.6. This line splits the graph into two regions, one where y is greater than negative 5.6, and the other where y is less than negative 5.6. Y is equal to negative 5.6 on that horizontal line. And so in this case, we're trying to find when y is less than or equal to negative 5.6. So we're going to name this lower region. And so if I kind of map it back to the x-axis, I'm going to say these x coordinates have y values that are less than or equal to negative 5.6. Okay, now as an inequality, I would say that's when x is less than or equal to negative 1.